tenure track of the Wisconsin economy, and the thing that you should always know to say. The next thing you should know to say is that the state is one of the worst in the nation in terms of racial inequality. And I emphasize this in, I sort of figured this out in the 90s, but I feel like it is a responsibility in this state to constantly remind us that this state, which in 1979 was actually at the forefront of economic racial equality, has fallen to the back of the pack. And this is because, in many ways, the outcomes for whites in the state are pretty good. And in many ways, the outcomes for blacks in this state are among the worst in the nation. And that disparity, see, the thing about Mississippi is it serves up pretty bad outcomes for both, right? So Wisconsin has a greater disparity because of the distance between these two populations. The distance here on this chart is that Wisconsin's African-American unemployment rate is 2.8 times the white unemployment rate. Basically, the whites running 5 or 6. Black in 2013 was running 15, 16%. If you add in the folks who are involuntarily part-time, this is people who have part-time jobs but are looking for full-time jobs, wish they had full-time jobs, that's that second wedge, that blue wedge on the chart. You get to 1 in 4 African-American workers. That 2.8 times ratio between the white and African-American unemployment rate is the fourth worst in the nation among states. Minnesota, Louisiana, I think North Dakota, and always Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is always off the charts on racial inequality. So Wisconsin, number 4. In 2011, Wisconsin's black unemployment rate was actually the highest in the nation. And also this is true of Hispanics as well. 1 in 4 Hispanic workers, 1 in 4 black workers, either unemployed or involuntarily part-time. And that should be another call to action for all of us about how we run this state and how we spread opportunity in this state. All right? My next fact. 82 cents. This is a slightly more happy story. This is the story of women's equity. And this is a long-term story of the ratio between men's wages and women's wages. If I had done this in 1979, fortunately I was too young to do this then. If I had done this in 1979 and said, what's the ratio of women's to men's wages, looking at the median, it would have been 59 cents. For every dollar man made, a woman made 59 cents. And we've seen progress in that number up to 82 cents. So every dollar man makes, a woman makes 82 cents. That's the gender gap in wages in Wisconsin. If you look at that chart on the right of the picture, though, the top 2 lines are the U.S. and Wisconsin men's median wage over time, inflation adjusted. The bottom line is Wisconsin and U.S. women's median wages, inflation adjusted. So you see a little good news in that picture, right? Because the women's wages come up, especially in the 90s. But you see a little bad news in that picture too, which is that it's your opportunity to yell out in excitement, oh my gosh, this chart is changing my life. Or is it telling me which direction? It's not changing your life?
Men's wages are going down.
It's getting stagnant. Men's line is coming down. Oops, that's me. That's what I'm going to look at. You see that men's line is coming down a little. Equity reached at the minimum wage will not be exciting to any of us, right? Well, I think when we're looking for gender equity in the labor market, we're hoping that women's wages come up to men's wages. We don't want the equity just to be a result of the stagnation, and then a slight drift down in men's wages. That 82 cents has both the good story and the bad story in it. But that relates to the next story, and this is the long-term picture, and this, I think I hit the button, but I'm not sure, so I will wait in anticipation. No, I didn't. There it is. No, that time I really did. Not, well, there you go. Oh, shoot. I was jumping to the wrong slide. Oh, well, we'll do this one first. 4 and 5, continued decline of the defining sectors. Does anybody know what 4 and 5, you have an idea? I mean, I know you can read it now, so the quiz is really useless. But 4 and 5, so manufacturing, you may have heard a lot about manufacturing resurgence, and every manufacturing job in this state is, well, many of the manufacturing jobs in this state are good news for working people in this state. Manufacturing jobs pay better because of unions. Manufacturing jobs pay better. This isn't, isn't naturally like assumed, manufacturing should pay more and have decent benefits. It's unions that made that happen in the manufacturing sector, as you know. Because a long time ago we called it unskilled work, right? And then you made workers important to that, and that changed the skill mix, right? Because if you demand higher wages, then employers figure out ways to get more worth out of you, and that changes the skill mix. Anyway, that's worth remembering, just kind of in the back of your head on economic history. But unions made manufacturing decent work in this state, and we have lost 1 in every 5 manufacturing jobs from the year 2000 to now. Now, manufacturing, has been on a long decline. The 70s, the 80s were brutal decades for Wisconsin manufacturing. But in fact, by the year 2000, there were more manufacturing workers. They were less often union. They were less often in Milwaukee or Racine and Kenosha. They were more often rural, low-wage manufacturers. Still, by 2000, there were more manufacturing jobs than there had been in 1980 in the state. Total manufacturing sector. It was the smallest share of the overall economy, right? Because the service sector grew faster. The manufacturing sector basically stayed constant in terms of employment, but shrunk as a share of the total employment. Anyway, that peak it hit in 2000. You can see that line. So here's another line. I'm singing along. We hit the 2001 recession. Big decline in manufacturing. Big loss of manufacturing jobs. Then we have, you can see there, 2003 to 2005, the jobless recovery. Manufacturing just goes on another step function to 2007. After 2007, down to nearly 400,000 jobs, from 600,000 jobs in the year 2000. Right now we're hovering at about 450,000 jobs, just slightly coming up on the number of jobs in manufacturing in the state. And that, has a lot to do with international trade dynamics. It has to do with actually also the inflation, using the continued pressure to keep the value of the dollar up, which is bad news for us. All of you know this, right? We are not interested in keeping the dollar strong, because a weak dollar means good manufacturing environment. And so at a national level, that's a piece of trade policy that we should all be paying more attention to. Anyway, still, manufacturing is not what it used to be. It will always be critical in this state. It is not going to be the same number of jobs going forward, I don't think. Here's, oh my gosh. Let's see if I can get back one. Ooh. Well, I'm going to do it from this graph because I'm missing one graph. I'm missing the 2 cents, your 2 cents worth.
It's up there for a second.
Was it up there?
Go back a point.
All right, let's try again. 4, 5. No. I mean, it's up on the picture.
No, it's in there.
It's in there? All right. Let's look together. Oh, it's right there. Thank you. I know.